Welcome, and thank you so much for joining me for this virtual symposium and taking an interest in reviewing my work today. My name is Veronica Lukasinski, and I am a senior health society and policy major, but I have been doing research with the School for Cultural and Social Transformation under the mentorship of Dr. Fukushima. This is my completed poster. However, I've split this into these sections into separate slides in aims of creating a more pleasant reading experience. An introduction to this topic. According to the University of Utah's Gender-Based Violence Consortium, gender-based violence is understood as violence that results in physical, sexual, or psychological harm or suffering based on a person's gender, where coercion or arbitrary deprivations of freedom occurs in public or private life. Because of the high prevalence of domestic abuse and intimate partner violence in Utah, according to the Center for Disease Control and the Utah Department of Health, gender-based violence are also considered high. Due to the many concepts gender-based violence includes, along with misconceptions of the topic, there is a lack of a repository of information regarding these issues and response systems. This data collection aims to document a history of Utah's gender-based violence policies that will ultimately assist those navigating the challenges of surviving GBV in Utah. This project contributes to the work of the University of Utah's Gender-Based Violence Consortium study, Visualizing Gender-Based Violence, led by Dr. Annie Isabel Fukushima. By understanding the various policies that have been implemented in Utah, survivors and advocates will have a knowledge of what is available to them in terms of resources and legal pursuits. Policymakers will also be able to review previously proposed solutions, informing their own policy recommendations. Our methods. Our team, with Dr. Fukushima's guidance, met several times throughout the semester to develop a consistent data collection method through an iterative process to share our progress. Our team began working from an extensive list of search terms. My work focused on policies while my colleagues were focused on social services. Below is an incomplete list of terms identified. This list will continue to grow as our research progresses, creating a more comprehensive data collection process. Prioritizing this list is essential in organization and ensuring specific policies were found. This was completed by separating terms into relevant groupings. My efforts in compiling policy data primarily utilize Utah State Legislature's website search option to review proposed and passed bills. Various information about each bill was also collected, with a specific focus on legal definitions, police responses, criminal penalties, and victim restitution. Due to the many bills that the Utah legislature sees every year, and considering that certain policies contain over 50 legal definitions, this process can be quite slow moving. Although the study is still ongoing, so far I was able to collect information on over 50 policies related to gender-based violence with this process and compiled a list of more than 350 legal definitions. These policies were primarily from the 2020 legislative session, which can be perceived as promising for those that have experienced gender-based violence, as it appears that the Utah State Legislature cares about improving its response to this issue. The figure below represents the passing rate from the current list of collected policies. A majority of these policies has obviously passed. Conclusions. Because this data collection process will continue, it is difficult to draw any concrete conclusions regarding the Utah State Legislature's response to gender-based violence. However, it may be notable that there appears to be very few policies regarding transgender individuals. I had only come across one bill that did not pass. It appears the LGBTQ plus community was not supportive of this policy, so it not passing aligns with the community's values and should not be perceived as a negative. This is primarily a concern informed by the reported rise in violence towards the trans community in the United States in the past few years, and the expectation that the state of Utah will respond accordingly. As this research continues, we will be able to more accurately report on patterns of the passage of GBV policies in Utah, and this data will appear on Visualizing Gender-Based Violence Project. This last slide includes references utilized throughout this presentation, and I just want to thank you for your time.